The space station floated quietly above the burnt skies of Myrath, a planet that had seen too many battles. It was built as neutral ground, half human, half alien, but peace was still a distant dream. Cole stepped out of the docking bay, his boots clicking against the polished metal floor. He was young for an envoy, but his sharp mind and calm voice had helped in past missions. Today, though, he didn't feel calm. The mission was risky, and the alien commander waiting for him was known for her short temper. He adjusted his navy blue uniform and entered the council hall. The room was tall and cold, lit by blue lights that cast long shadows. At the far end stood Commander Urea, the Varelian warrior leader. She was tall, with pale silver skin and sharp eyes that seemed to cut through steel. Her armor glowed faintly, and her arms were crossed as she stared at Cole like he was an unwanted guest. "You're late," Urea said coldly. Cole nodded respectfully. "There were delays at the border gate. I came as fast as I could." She didn't smile. "I do not accept excuses. Humans waste time with words. Let's hear why you're here before I decide to throw you back into space." Cole took a breath. "I'm here to negotiate a ceasefire. The recent skirmishes along the eastern ridge are caused by humans," she interrupted, slamming her fist against the table between them. The sound echoed. Cole didn't flinch. "We were responding to Varelian scouts crossing into human territory." "Lies," Urea growled. "Your people spy, invade, and build weapons near our sacred lands, and now you come here wearing silk and acting like a peacekeeper?" "I didn't come here to be insulted," Cole said firmly. "We're both losing soldiers. Both sides are tired of blood. You know this." Urea's eyes narrowed. She stepped closer, her boots heavy and loud. "You think you understand war, human?" she hissed. "You wear a pretty uniform and speak soft words, but you know nothing of sacrifice." Cole stood his ground. "I know that peace is better than pride." Those words struck her like a slap. Ikai's room was silent for a moment. Then, without warning, Urea grabbed him by the collar. Her strength was unreal. Cole tried to step back, but she held him tight. Her face was inches from his. "You speak of pride," she snapped. "Then let me show you what pride looks like when torn." She gripped the front of his uniform and ripped it open in one hard pull. The sharp sound of tearing cloth filled the room, but then she froze. Her eyes widened. Her mouth opened slightly as if she wanted to speak but couldn't. She stared at Cole's chest. There, burned into his skin just above his heart, was a strange glowing mark. It looked like a star with 7 points, surrounded by circular waves. The glow wasn't bright, but it pulsed gently as if it was alive. The mark had not been there this morning when Cole dressed. Urea slowly let go of his collar. Her hand trembled slightly. "What is that?" she whispered. Cole looked down and saw the mark for the first time. His breath caught in his throat. I don't know." But Urea did. Her eyes were still locked on the mark. She had seen it before, not in real life, but in sacred texts and temple walls back on Varelia, the symbol of the starborn ally, a figure from Varelian prophecy, a being who would rise in a time of war, carry the mark, and unite enemies against a darkness from beyond the stars. Urea stepped back, shaking her head. "It's not possible," she said quietly. "This is some trick." "I don't even know how it got there," Cole replied, voice calm but confused. "I swear to you, it wasn't there before." "Silence," she barked, her voice now shaking with a different kind of emotion. Fear. Her soldiers, who had been watching from the corners of the room, whispered among themselves. One of them, a younger warrior named Selan, stepped forward. "Commander," he said carefully, "that mark. It looks like the symbol from the old war stories." "I know what it looks like," Urea snapped. Then she turned to Cole. "You will come with me. I came here as a diplomat, not a prisoner. You are no longer just a diplomat," she said. "That mark changes everything." 2 guards stepped forward, but Cole didn't fight. He was just as curious and a bit scared about the mark now glowing on his skin. What did it mean? Why had it appeared only now? They led him through a side corridor into a quiet chamber. Urea dismissed the guards and stood alone with him. "I need you to tell me everything you know," she said. "Every detail of your birth, your parents, your bloodline." Cole frowned. "Why does it matter?" "Because," she said, her voice low, "that mark is from our most ancient stories. Only one other being ever carried it. And he was human, too." Cole blinked. "That can't be a coincidence." "No," she said. "It cannot." She stepped closer again, but this time not in anger. She reached out a hand and hovered it above the mark without touching it. It pulsed again. "I don't know what you are," she whispered. "But the war is about to change." Cole sat in a cold metal chair alone in the dim chamber. The room was quiet, lit only by a soft white panel above. His shirt was still torn, the strange glowing mark still visible on his chest. He had touched it a few times. It didn't hurt, but it felt warm, almost alive. He had no answers. He had never seen this mark before today. It wasn't a tattoo. It wasn't technology. It felt like it had chosen him. The door opened. Commander Urea walked in, her silver armor reflecting the light. But this time she didn't look angry. Her face was serious, thoughtful, even a little uneasy. Cole stood. "What is this symbol?" he asked again. Urea didn't answer right away. She looked at him for a long moment. Then she spoke slowly. "Long ago, before the Varelians mastered space travel, we fought among ourselves. The sky was full of fire. The clans were broken. It was a dark time for my people." She walked closer, stopping just in front of him. "During that war, a being came from the stars, not Varelian, not of our world. He had this same mark." Cole's eyes widened. "A human? No one knew his kind, but now seeing you, I believe he was human. He came during our greatest war and helped end it. He united 3 clans that had fought for 100 years. He didn't rule, he guided." "What happened to him?" Urea looked away. "He disappeared after the final battle. Some say he died. Others say he returned to the stars. The only thing that remained was the story and the symbol." Cole sat back down, trying to process everything. "You think I'm like him?" She gave a sharp nod. "The mark doesn't appear by chance. It is not drawn or placed. It awakens, only in times of great danger." "But why me?" "I don't know," she said, then crossed her arms. "That's what we need to find out." Later that day, Cole was taken to a hidden chamber deep beneath the station. It wasn't in the records, and even most Varelians didn't know it existed. It was part of the old deck, a quiet place used by temple scholars and war elders. Inside, ancient carvings lined the walls. Most were dusty, some cracked with age, but one stood untouched. A tall pillar made of dark stone. Carved into the center of the pillar was the same 7-pointed star. Cole stared at it, his chest burning slightly as the mark on his skin pulsed again. Urea stepped beside him. "This is the oldest memory of the Starborn ally. Touch it." Cole hesitated, then placed his hand on the stone. A faint hum filled the air. The symbol on the stone lit up. So did the mark on his chest. Suddenly, visions rushed through Cole's mind. Strange places, alien skies. Battles fought in silence. A tall figure standing before 2 armies holding up the same symbol. Peace. Then darkness swallowing stars. Screams. And a whisper. "He will rise again when the stars cry." Cole gasped and pulled back. "What did you see?" Urea asked quickly. "I saw him," Cole said. "I think I saw the one from your story, but also something else. Something coming." Urea was silent. Her eyes met his. "Then it's true. The darkness is returning." Later, back in the chamber, Cole tried to rest, but sleep didn't come. His mind was racing. Urea returned, with a data pad in her hand. We checked the records on your DNA, she said. Cole blinked. You scanned me? We had to, she replied. The mark is tied to blood, and your results are not normal. He frowned. What do you mean? You have something in your genes that shouldn't be there. A mix of code we haven't seen before. Not fully human, not fully alien either. Cole stood slowly. I'm not human. You are, she said. But your blood carries something ancient, something older than both our species. He felt dizzy. His whole life had been normal. He grew up on Earth, went to school, joined the diplomacy academy. Nothing had ever seemed strange about him. Maybe your parents were chosen, Urea continued, or maybe someone long ago planned this. Planned what? She looked at him with a heavy gaze. You, this, the mark. You might be a key, built to bring balance when it is most needed. Cole shook his head. But I'm just one man. I don't command fleets, I'm not a warrior. Urea stepped closer. Neither was the first one, he was a stranger until he became a leader. The next day a report came through the station's emergency channel. A Varelian outpost had been destroyed, completely wiped out. No signs of battle, no bodies. Just silence. Urea read the report out loud. They're back. Who? Cole asked. She answered with one word. Revenants. Cole had never heard of them. They were enemies from the stars, Urea explained. Before even your people walked on Earth, they consume. No peace, no talk, only destruction. Why? Are they back now? Urea looked at the mark on his chest again. Because the time has come, just like the vision said. Cole felt cold inside. Then we don't have much time. She gave a slow nod. And our people won't trust each other. Not unless they see the truth for themselves. Cole took a deep breath. Then let them see. That evening, Urea called an emergency meeting on the central deck of the station. Humans and Varelians stood in two tense groups watching each other. Then Cole stepped forward, shirt open, the mark on his chest glowing softly in the dark chamber. Gasps filled the room. Some Varelians dropped to one knee. Others whispered, "The Starborn." A human officer stepped closer. "What is that? Some trick?" Urea stepped beside Cole and raised her voice. "This is no trick. This man carries the sign of our ancient ally, the one who helped end the Great War, the one who warned us of the dark that now comes again." People started talking, arguing, questioning. Cole raised his hand. "You don't have to believe in stories. You don't have to trust me. But look around. Your scanners show the truth. An entire base gone, and we didn't do it." The humans went silent. "We need to work together," he continued, "or we'll all disappear just like that outpost." Later that night, as Cole stood alone on the viewing deck, he stared at the stars. So many of them, so far away. He heard footsteps. Urea walked beside him. "You did well." He nodded slowly. "I don't know what's happening to me." "Neither do I," she said. "But I know one thing." "What's that?" She looked at him, her voice soft. "The stars called you, and I think you answered." Cole walked through the silent hallway of the space station, his thoughts heavier than ever. The mark on his chest no longer felt strange. It felt like part of him. But with that strange warmth came a weight, a responsibility he never asked for. He paused at a window that looked out into space. Stars blinked in the dark sky, calm and quiet. But behind that calm, something deadly was coming. The Revenants. The name stayed in his mind like a whisper from the shadows. He didn't know what they looked like, how they fought, or what they wanted. But he knew they were dangerous. Entire colonies had vanished without a sound. No weapons fired, no signals sent. Just silence. Behind him, the door opened. Urea stepped in. This time, she wasn't wearing her full armor. just her light officer suit. She looked tired but focused. "We have a lead," she said. Cole turned to her. "Where?" "There's an old Varelian temple ship," she said. "It's drifting near the edge of the dead zone. No signal, no crew, just floating. But scans show traces of energy similar to your mark." He nodded. "You think it's connected to the Starborn story?" "Yes," she replied. "And maybe the Revenants, too." Cole didn't hesitate. "Then let's go." The journey to the dead zone took 6 hours. It was a place few dared to travel. Old star maps called it cursed. Ships went in, and sometimes didn't return. The temple ship was massive, dark, ancient, and covered in golden runes. Its shape was unlike modern ships. It looked more like a flying cathedral, built with care and mystery. Their shuttle docked carefully. Cole and Urea stepped inside, followed by 2 guards. The air was cold. The lights flickered. Everything was covered in dust and silence. "It's like it's been asleep," Cole said quietly. Urea nodded. "These ships were made thousands of years ago. They carried knowledge, symbols, even DNA of our ancestors." They walked deeper into the ship. Cole's mark began to glow again, softly but steadily. As they moved through the ancient halls, doors opened on their own. The ship recognized him. Finally, they reached the main chamber. It was large and circular, with a high ceiling shaped like a dome. In the center was a crystal structure, like a giant heart made of glass and light. Cole walked to it. His mark pulsed brighter. Suddenly, the crystal activated. A beam of soft blue light surrounded him, and the room filled with images, holograms of ancient battles, of planets being swallowed by darkness. A voice echoed. Not a human voice, not Varelian either. Deeper, older. Chosen not by blood, but by balance. When the edge of night returns, a bridge must stand, not to fight alone, but to bring together what war has broken. The light faded. Cole stood still, breathing hard. The message was clear. He was meant to unite. Urea stepped forward. "That was a message from the First Ones." "The First Ones?" She nodded. "An ancient species, older than Varelians, maybe even older than your kind. We believe they seeded the stars with life and left behind guardians." "Guardians like me," Cole said softly. Urea didn't speak, but her eyes told him she believed it now. Suddenly, one of the guards shouted, "Commander, you need to see this!" They ran back toward the shuttle. On the ship's small radar screen, 3 unknown signals had appeared near the edge of the dead zone. They were fast, cold, silent. "They're here," Urea whispered. "The Revenants?" "Yes." Back on the main station, alarms echoed through the halls. Cole and Urea rushed to the command deck. Human and Varelian officers stood together now, sharing data, watching the screens. 3 outer colonies had gone silent. No escape pods, no calls, just nothing. Cole stepped forward. "We need to act, now. But we don't even know what they are," one human officer argued. "And if we wait, we'll lose more worlds," Urea replied firmly. Cole looked around the room. "I don't care if you follow me, I'm not your leader, but I am the one who saw this coming, and I'll go stop it, with or without your help." There was silence. Then one Varelian stepped forward. "I'll go." Another human joined him. "Count me in." One by one more came forward. The room filled with quiet strength. They built a small strike team, 1 human ship, 1 Varelian warship, and a mixed crew trained to scout and survive. Cole and Urea would lead together. Before leaving, Cole stood in front of a mirror. His chest still bore the glowing mark. But now he understood. It wasn't a curse. It was a call. Their fleet reached the last known location of the missing colonies. There, they found the debris. Floating metal, no signs of life, but in the shadows beyond, something moved. Black ships, shaped like insects, silent and deadly, appeared one by one. Revenants. The alien ships didn't fire. They just watched. Cole stepped to the command window. There scanning us. Urea narrowed her eyes. Let them. We're not hiding. Suddenly, one of the enemy ships fired a strange beam. It didn't explode. It sent a pulse straight toward Cole. He cried out and fell. The mark on his chest burned brighter than ever. His eyes turned white for a moment as he saw everything. Visions of the revenants. How they were once living beings, twisted by an ancient hunger. No emotions, no words, just cold logic. Erase threats, erase chaos. He saw planets burning. But he also saw something else. Hope. A massive machine buried under the old Varelian world. A key. A weapon. A gift left by the first ones. The vision ended. Cole gasped and stood slowly. I know what we have to do, he said. Back on the station, Cole gave his report. There's something under your planet, he told Urea. A structure left behind. It's not a weapon in the usual way, it's a message, a code, something that can shut the revenants down. But only if both humans and Varelians activate it together. Urea stared at him. You saw this in your vision? Yes, Cole, I said. I don't know how, but I believe it. She looked around the room. Then we go home. The space station's halls were alive with tension. Humans and Varelians hurried to prepare for what would be the most important mission in decades. The mysterious structure beneath the Varelian homeworld was their last hope against the revenants, if it even worked. Commander Urea stood in the command room going over the mission details with her officers. Her silver eyes reflected the blue light as she spoke with calm authority. We don't know what we will face. The revenants will not stop. They destroy everything. Cole stepped forward, his uniform now repaired but still open at the chest, revealing the glowing 7-pointed star. This mission is bigger than any one of us. It is about survival. We must work together. Murmurs filled the room. Some humans still looked at the Varelians with distrust. Some Varelians still whispered about the human with the mark as a symbol they didn't fully understand. But Urea raised her hand. We are not enemies here. We have a chance to change the future. Cole nodded. I will guide the human fleet. You lead the Varelians. We meet at the surface. The journey to the Varelian homeworld was tense. Ships flew in formation side by side. The humans were new to fighting alongside aliens like the Varelians. Some made mistakes. Some hesitated. Cole sat with Urea in the command shuttle. You trust me? He asked quietly. She looked out the window at the swirling planet below. I do now. He smiled softly. That's all I ask. When they landed on the surface, the world was both beautiful and strange. Jagged mountains rose like teeth into the pale sky. Strange plants with glowing leaves whispered in the wind. The ancient structure they sought was hidden deep in the mountains, protected by natural walls and old technology. Urea led the way through narrow caves and crumbling ruins. Her knowledge of the land was deep. Cole followed closely, feeling the weight of the mission pressing on his shoulders. They reached a large gate covered in strange symbols. The glowing star on Cole's chest pulsed brighter. This is it, Urea said. Cole reached out and touched the gate. The stone began to hum and vibrate. Slowly it opened. Inside was a massive chamber filled with machines that looked both alive and ancient. Lights blinked on control panels and screens showed star maps and strange data. This is the heart of the first ones, Urea whispered. A place of power. Cole stepped forward, feeling the energy flow through him. The mark on his chest shone brighter. Suddenly the ground shook. Outside, the revenant ships appeared, blocking the sky. Their black forms were sharp and deadly. They landed, sending squads of strange machines to attack. Urea drew her weapon, a long spear glowing with energy. Cole grabbed a pulse rifle from the supply. Together, humans and Varelians fought side by side. Cole fired at the approaching enemies while shouting orders. Protect the entrance. Don't let them inside. Urea moved like a storm, spear flashing as she cut down machines. Her warriors fought with fierce skill. Despite the attacks, the gate held. but more enemies kept coming. Inside the chamber, Cole approached the control panel. He studied the symbols and buttons, trying to understand how to activate the heart. "Help me," he called to Urea. She joined him, her knowledge of the ancient language surprising him. "This device needs 2 keys," she said. "One is blood, one is energy." Cole looked at his chest. "My mark?" "Yes," Urea nodded. "And your energy is the power inside you. But I need to offer something too." She cut her palm with a small blade and touched the panel. Her silver blood mixed with Cole's glowing mark, triggering a response. Lights flashed, and the machines in the chamber hummed louder. Outside, the fight grew worse. The revenants pushed hard, their machines moving faster, smarter. Cole heard explosions near the gate. "We can't hold them much longer," one human shouted. Suddenly, the chamber shook. Violently, the heart activated fully, sending a beam of light straight into the sky. The revenant ships faltered, their black armor cracking under the light. Urea smiled. "It's working!" Cole focused on the control panel, his mark glowing fiercely. He felt a strange energy connecting him to the heart, to Urea, and to the planet itself. The beam spread, creating a shield around the mountain. Outside, the revenant ships retreated, unable to break through the barrier. The strange machines collapsed. Powerless humans and Varelians cheered. Cole and Urea looked at each other, relief shining in their eyes. "This is only the beginning," Urea said. "But today, we have won." Cole smiled. Together, as the sun set over the mountains, Cole and Urea stood side by side. The mark on his chest was still glowing softly, but no longer strange or frightening. It was a symbol of hope, of unity, of a future where enemies could become allies. The battles had quieted, but the weight of what had happened still hung heavy in the air. The revenants were pushed back, at least for now, but the war was far from over. Cole stood on the balcony of the Varelian palace, overlooking the city. Below, the pale sunlight touched the silver towers and the green gardens, giving everything a calm glow. But the peace felt fragile. Commander Urea joined him silently, her presence steady and strong. "You did well," she said, her voice soft, but full of respect. Cole looked at her, a tired smile on his face. "We did well. It was not just me." She nodded. "The mark you carry, it's more than a symbol. It is a bond." Cole placed his hand gently over the glowing star on his chest. "At first, I was afraid. I did not understand it. But now, I know it is part of who I am." Urea smiled faintly. "And part of who we are too." In the days that followed, humans and Varelians worked together more closely than ever before. Training, sharing knowledge, and rebuilding trust. The old wounds of war still hurt, but the promise of unity was stronger. The story of the star-born ally spread among the people. Children asked about the man with the glowing star, and soldiers spoke of him with quiet hope. One evening in a quiet garden, Urea and Cole met alone. "You changed how we see humans," she said, her eyes reflecting the stars above. Cole shook his head. "No. You changed how I see Varelians. Your strength, your honor, it's real." She reached out and gently touched his chest, over the mark. "You carry both our hopes now." Cole took her hand. "I don't know what the future holds, but I will stand with you." Her smile was warm. "And I with you." News came that the revenants were regrouping. Their dark ships were gathering near a distant star system, planning a new attack. Cole and Urea prepared once again. But this time, they were not alone. A fleet made of humans and Varelians stood ready, united by a common goal. The starborn mark on Cole's chest glowed brighter than ever, a beacon in the dark. Before the battle, Cole stood on the bridge of the flagship looking at the fleet. Urea stood beside him, her hand resting lightly on his shoulder. "Are you ready?" she asked. Cole nodded. "Not just ready. We will win, because we fight together." The fleet moved forward, engines humming with power. The revenants came at them like a storm, but the light from the heart of the first one spread across the ships, protecting them. Cole led the strategy, combining human innovation with Varelian courage. The battle was fierce, but hope burned stronger. After hours of fighting, the revenants retreated, broken and defeated. The fleet cheered. Cole looked at Urea and smiled. "We did it," she smiled back. "Together." In the days after the battle, leaders from both species met to build a new alliance. Cole was named the Ambassador of Unity, a symbol of hope and strength. Urea stood beside him, proud and loyal. Together, they signed a new treaty, a promise that humans and Varelians would no longer fight, but build a future together. As the sun set over the United Worlds, Cole and Urea stood hand in hand. The mark on his chest pulsed softly, a light in the darkness. He looked at her and said quietly, "This is just the beginning." She nodded. "The future belongs to those who stand together."